These democratic socialists at another of their conventions, they were told to make jazz hands instead of clapping, lest some delegates suffer sensory overload. And also, and I'm not joking, they were told not to be wearing, any aggressive scents.
Please don't go into that space with anything that's like an aggressive scent, for instance, right? Because that's going to be difficult for people.
Oh, for sake. This is who the Democrats are thinking of following? City-run grocery stores? No, I don't want that. I want a Democrat who reassures me if you like your Whole Foods, you can keep your Whole Foods.
Bill Maher has never been one to bite his tongue, especially when he's incinerating his own political camp. But this latest teardown feels far more significant than his usual rants. The razor-tongued comedian just launched a devastating assault on Democrats for supporting radical shifts that could trigger a total party collapse. As expected, Maher is ruthless, hilarious, and dangerously accurate with his observations. You're going to want to lock in for this one. So hit that subscribe button right now because this breakdown is about to get intense.
That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5, isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Healthy at any weight? If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say.
Maher didn't hold back for a second as he targeted the woke dogma currently infecting the modern left. He emphasized that the Democratic establishment can no longer just repeat trendy slogans and expect a standing ovation from the public. Those easy days are over. In our current era, every single claim is immediately torn apart, verified, and broadcast to the world for judgment. Today's audience isn't sleeping. They are observant, skeptical, and ready to expose any narrative that doesn't hold water. Maher's core argument was harsh but undeniable. You cannot manufacture a fake version of reality and expect the American voter to follow along. If you attempt to rewrite the truth, sidestep your own hypocrisies, and assume the masses will just nod, you are walking into a trap. Voters are spotting the holes in the story. They can smell the desperate spin, and they are completely exhausted by it. Pretending a lie is the truth doesn't change the facts. It just makes you look delusional. When a movement loses its grip on reality, it doesn't just lose its honor, it loses the ballot box.
Democratic socialism is like a dating profile. Things look great until you meet up in the real world. For example, Bernie Sanders, his big thing was always bringing single-payer health care to our country of 340 million. But when liberal, tie-dyed Vermont tried to do it for a population of 626,000, it collapsed like that poor in the Oval Office last week. Bernie, AOC, Mandani are not Democrats. They'll be the first to tell you that. They're democratic socialists, and that's a very different thing, and I don't think people know that yet.
Maher didn't stop at social issues. He shifted his focus to the Democratic Party's intensifying infatuation with socialist branding and far-left candidates, calling it a suicidal political move. He pointed to recent data showing that roughly 66% of Democrats now side with socialism, while only 42% maintain a positive view of the capitalist system. That kind of ideological pivot, Maher cautioned, isn't just a change in vocabulary. It's a signal that the party is wandering into a political minefield. His warning was direct. Embracing concepts that the vast majority of Americans still view with suspicion will only push away swing voters and provide the GOP with a massive tactical advantage. People generally despise being pushed toward economic models they associate with government overreach or national decline. Maher's point landed with a thud. If Democrats continue to wrap themselves in labels that terrify the American middle class, they aren't just inviting bad press. They are torching their own credibility and risking everything when the election cycle heats up.
I don't think people realize we already have a lot of socialism. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment insurance, food stamps, veterans benefits, Pell Grants, COVID-era payments, farm subsidies, disability payments, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, corporate bailouts. and the jobs program that is building weapons the Pentagon doesn't even want. All that is socialism, much of it appropriate to soften the edges of capitalism. But the DSA are radicals about this concept, and radical economic policy is always ineluctably married to radical social policy. Their platform, for example, calls for completely open borders. They're for what Biden was doing, but more. You think you're going to win an election on that?
Bill Maher was quick to remind his audience that the United States already operates with several social-style programs woven into the fabric of life. Things like Social Security, Medicare, the public school system, and first responders are all forms of taxpayer-funded collective investment. Maher freely admitted that these institutions are vital and hold immense value. However, his alarm was focused on the dangerous tipping point where common-sense safety nets turn into a full-scale ideological obsession. He argued that branding the entire party around the word socialism effectively scares off moderate Americans and hands the opposition an easy win. Maher noted that he sounded this exact alarm before, warning of strategic errors that the party ignored only to suffer massive losses on election night. He sees history repeating itself right now. His goal wasn't to advocate for a lack of compassion or an end to reform. It was about raw political survival. If you push the country too far and too fast, the electorate will eventually snap back. Maher's ultimatum is clear. Learn from your past failures or get ready to lose again.
It's either defund the police or military in the streets. Either MAGA's crypto crony capitalism or city-run grocery stores. No, I don't want that. I want a Democrat who reassures me if you like your Whole Foods, you can keep your Whole Foods. Governor-elect Spanberger once said about Biden's presidency that, quote, nobody elected him to be FDR. They elected him to be normal. Normal! You know, at this year's DSA convention, or as it's commonly known, Comic-Con. Get this, you had to submit a photo of a negative COVID test to get in.
What truly infuriates Maher is the toxic combination of woke purity and socialist economics that is slowly consuming his tribe. He believes that internal litmus tests and radical activist messaging are dragging the Democratic Party away from the political center, the exact territory where national elections are actually decided. When a party's primary goal becomes showing off its virtue, rather than fixing the broken economy or high crime rates, the average voter simply tunes out or leaves the party altogether. Maher's broader takeaway is that political movements win by convincing the middle, not by singing to the choir. Relying on divisive language and polarizing economic theories makes the party look completely detached from the struggles of regular people. Instead of strengthening their foundation, they are essentially digging their own political graves. His visible frustration stems from watching these avoidable errors unfold in real time. For Maher, the path back to a majority isn't found in more radicalism. It's found in regaining the trust of the voters who actually hold the power.
It seems to me that there are two pillars that this country is founded on. One is democracy, and one is capitalism, free markets. And it seems like one party wants to get rid of one, and the other party wants to get rid of the other. Right? The Republicans are not that, democracy is just not number one on their list. It just isn't. It isn't. It's behind Christianity and a few other things. And the Democrats, I mean, I read these, 74% are for democratic socialism. Only 16% favor capitalism. Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars?
Maher also took a shot at the constant media panic that democracy is on the verge of collapse, suggesting the true threat isn't a sudden coup or a dictatorship. Instead, the real danger is a political party drifting so far from its base's needs that it becomes obsolete. The most significant threat, he argued, is the internal ideological rot within the Democratic ranks. He cited polling trends that show a surge in socialist support among younger Democrats, warning that this shift could warp the party's future in unpredictable ways. Maher cautioned that if this trajectory holds, candidates who are openly socialist will dominate the primaries and take center stage nationally. His concern wasn't just about the names on the ballot. It was about the inevitable political blowback. Moving toward extreme positions risks permanently alienating the moderates and independents who actually determine who sits in the White House. Maher's message was a brutal reality check. When a political party moves faster than the heartbeat of the country will eventually hit back.
Where are the Democrats going with this? If Mondami is the face of the Democrats on the East Coast and Katie Porter is the face on the West Coast, I don't know if that's great politically for that party.
Maher made his position perfectly clear. If the Democrats stay on this current path, the ending will be a disaster. His logic is rooted in the harsh reality of the American landscape. Once you step outside of the ultra-blue cities and activist echo chambers, the majority of Americans are still incredibly wary of socialism as a viable government. For millions of people, capitalism, despite its many flaws, remains the only symbol of opportunity and the promise of a better life through hard work. It is the system they understand and trust. Maher fears that by doubling down on anti-capitalist rhetoric, the Democrats are voluntarily pushing away the exact voters they need for a national victory. Most people don't want to burn the entire house down. They just want the plumbing fixed and the lights back on. There is a massive gap between improving the system and replacing it entirely, and Maher warned that failing to see that line could be fatal. Push too hard, and the party loses more than just an argument. They lose their grip on power.
These Democratic socialists at another of their conventions, they were told to make jazz hands instead of clapping, lest some delegates suffer sensory overload. And also, and I'm not joking, they were told not to be wearing, any aggressive scents.
Please don't go into that space with anything that's like an aggressive scent, for instance, right? Because that's going to be difficult for people.
Maher stated unequivocally that he has reached his breaking point with the party's obsession with woke, logic, and performative theatrics. Too much political capital, he argues, is being wasted on symbolic gestures, viral gotcha moments, and attempts to please the loudest voices on social media. Meanwhile, the actual life and death concerns of the voters are being ignored. He is officially finished staying quiet while his own side repeats the same expensive mistakes. Maher's frustration is fueled by a genuine fear that the party is committing slow-motion suicide. By catering to tiny but loud factions, Democrats are ignoring the massive electorate that actually controls national elections. The average voter cares about tangible things: their job, the cost of living, personal safety, and national stability, not ideological grandstanding. When those priorities are buried under a mountain of signaling, the public notices. Maher sees this massive disconnect as a gift to the GOP. His warning is sharp: keep chasing the approval of the fringe, and you're just preparing the stage for another historic loss.
Democrats today have gone out of their way to post messages on social media about the current Trump administration and what's happening to American lives. The problem is they're all literally saying the same damn thing. Don't believe me? Check it out.
I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down, they're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of groceries, gas,
Now you see why Stephen A. Smith was in the polls as a presidential candidate? See what I'm talking about? You see that idiocy right there?
Maher isn't the only influential figure who is fed up with the Democratic Party's current direction. Other major voices, like the powerhouse sports and media commentator Stephen A. Smith, have also started speaking out. Smith's critique isn't necessarily about deep economic theory. He's more focused on the party's weak messaging and hollow political theater. He is all about the bottom line, credibility, and whether the party actually resonates with the average man on the street. He frequently questions whether these grand gestures and high-profile virtue signals actually improve anything for the working class. Voters, Smith argues, are looking for authenticity, strength, and clear answers, not symbolism that feels totally disconnected from their reality. The fact that these warnings are coming from different cultural angles proves that there is a deep-seated anxiety regarding the party's strategy and its fading ability to connect with the American people.
22 Democratic senators be literally echoing the same thing and think that would resonate with the American people. All it shows is that the same fabric of our democracy is unchanging. in the eyes of some of these officials, and as a result, the constituency they represent, which is why Donald Trump is in office. What, do I have to come up to Capitol Hill and give you lessons? Seriously, you don't get it? All you did, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Chuck Schumer, let's all get together, let's put this in a prompter, and all together, albeit in separate rooms, we'll grab a microphone and say the same damn thing. And that's what's going to resonate with the American people. And then you wonder why you're no longer in power.
Ultimately, Maher's warning isn't coming from a place of malice toward the Democrats. It's born out of an intense fear that the party is steering itself toward total political irrelevance. He sees a movement being swallowed by fleeting trends, empty gestures, and a communication style that alienates the very people it needs to win. His conclusion is devastatingly simple. You cannot secure a national mandate by talking only to activists and ignoring the heartbeat of the country. Voices like Stephen A. Smith prove that this isn't just one man's opinion. It's a growing consensus of concern. Maher's challenge to the Democratic leadership is both urgent and mandatory. Return to reality. Focus on the issues that keep Americans up at night and stop prioritizing ideological applause over the public's trust. If they ignore this warning, the consequence won't just be bad ratings. It will be a long, dark era of irrelevance. That concludes our breakdown for today. If you want more unfiltered truth about the news the mainstream media hides, smash that like button and subscribe right now.